It's Wednesday. That means a new edition of 10 in 10.
10 lists in 10 weeks. It's Jarom's 10 in 10.
Today, it's the top 10 running backs BYU will face this season. Number 10, Joshua Mack. Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. The FCS transfer from Maine led all of that level in rush yards per game in 2017. He's got great hair. Awesome, right? 133 a game, 5.5 per carry. He'll form a nice tandem with Frankie Hickson in the backfield.
I love the hair, man. Something about
Hair's great.
I think running backs get superpowers
From hair, Samson-like.
Like Samson, yeah, exactly.
Number 9, Vavai Malepeai, USC. VM for short. Rushed for 501 yards, 5.4 yards per carry. A team-high 8 touchdowns last season. Added 18 catches for 93 yards. He's the leading returning rusher for the Men of Troy. Game 3 for BYU.
Definitely a back that can make things happen outside of the backfield with catches, 18, right? Somebody you got to keep on your radar at all times.
Number 8, Frankie Hickson. Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. Yeah, that's 2. The fifth-year senior rushed for 1,000 last year. 11 touchdowns, put up 100-plus in 5 games, but is recovering from off-season knee surgery, so that's always a question.
Yeah, man, when you look at his highlight tapes that we're looking at right now, somebody that's a little bit shorter, a little bit stocky, but you look at the swivel, right, the agility, being able to make people miss, getting to the edge. But, you know, coming back from a knee injury is always tough from a running back.
Number 7, Gerald Bright, Utah State. 888 yards last year, 6.3 a pop, 10 touchdowns on the ground, 3 TD catches. Had a great year for the nation's number 2 scoring offense. 4 100-yard games, 3 touchdowns versus Hawaii, 121 yards that day. Gerald Bright, Utah State.
It's somebody that's scary. When you think about his explosion, 400-yard games, but most importantly, the carry, man, 6.3 yards a carry, right? We just, for any offense, you just hope that they try to get, 5 or 3.4, whatever the case is, right? But to get 6.3? Yeah.
Zach Wilson's 7.3 on non-sack carries, by the way. Number 6, Ty Chandler, Tennessee. 5.5 yards a carry, 630 yards, 4 touchdowns on a bad offense with a porous offensive line. 3 touchdowns receiving, 17 yards a catch as a receiver. How about that? Ran for 7 per carry the final 3 games in SEC play.
Yeah, this is another kid that I would just put as athlete. I wouldn't put him as a running back, but I mean, he can do all things, catch the ball, obviously explosive. If you were watching the highlights, from home, you can see how agile, how smooth the kid looks.
To the top 5 we go. Number 5, Jordan Cronkite, South Florida. No relation to Walter. Played 2 years at Florida, 1,100 yards last year, 9 touchdowns. Had 302 yards versus UMass. 4th most for an FBS player from a Florida school ever. Went for 100-plus in 5 straight games, 5.5 yards per carry in his career.
Definitely a bigger back, man. Taller, can bruise you. How many yards did we rush against UMass?
Not 302, I don't think.
Yeah.
Number 4, Bryant Koback, Toledo. The Kentucky transfer led the Rockets with 917 yards last year. That's 2nd most for a Toledo freshman in school history. A MAC-high 14 touchdowns, 6 yards per carry, and that was top 25 among 900-yard-plus rushers nationally. Season-high 192 versus Kent State.
I like that you put him 4th, especially being a freshman. A lot of upsides, doing the damage that he did last year. Another year of experience under his belt. Spring, another camp. Just look out.
Number 3, Juwan Washington, San Diego State. He was 1 yard shy of 1,000 despite missing 4 games last year due to a broken clavicle. I broke my clavicle in 5th grade. Someone said, "You broke your collarbone?" I was like, "No, my clavicle." 5 yards a carry, 10 rush touchdowns, all in 9 games. Classic San Diego State back in the spirit of Donnell Pumphrey and Rashad Pennick.
I don't even know what a clavicle is. Where's that?
It's your collarbone.
Okay.
Number 2, Savon Ahmed, Washington. Now you get the joke. Ahmed rushed for 996 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 6 yards a carry over the last 2 years because he was the number 2 behind all-time leading rusher in school history, Myles Gaskin. Ahmed will be a 1,000-yard rusher in the Pac-12, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the scariest backs that BYU faced. When you look at what he did in the production from a big-time back like Gaskin, and then being able to just learn from him, right, and those reps. Those mental reps that he gets. But when you look at the highlight tapes here, can knock you down, go around you, through you, upside, top of you, sideways, slanted ways, all kind of ways. So BYU defense will have had their hands full.
And the top running back BYU will face in 2019 is Zach Moss of Utah. He's a great back. Rushed for nearly 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. That was in 9 games. He missed 4 games due to an injury. 6.1 yards per carry, 211 yards against UCLA, 160 against Stanford, touchdowns in 8 of the 9 games he played in. If he didn't have a serious knee injury, he probably would have gone pro. BYU will have a huge test in week 1, and those are the top 10 running backs BYU will face in 2019.
I think the thing I appreciate the most about Zach Moss is his footwork, man. He can make people miss while still going north and south.
And he didn't play in the game last year.
He didn't play.
He was injured.
You would imagine what the difference could have been, right? So, but BYU had their chance this year.
BYU was playing with its third string running back, by the way.
Yeah, that was
because Squally Cannon and Lopini Katoa were out.
That was on
So it wasn't just Utah playing with injured guys.
And he was on the defensive side, right?